Hello everyone. I received a topic. It's about a book, and when I first saw the paper that Miss Lee gave me, I didn't understand about anything about the topic. The paper contained 4 irrelevant sentences, and after a long time of researching and studying, I found out that that is for agreement in a book called the For Agreement. This book written by John. Have you heard about this book? Anyone?
You're the professional today.
The fact is, this book is very familiar with many famous persons in the world, and it's a really simple but powerful book. And after reading this book, I want to introduce you some big ideas in the book. The Four Agreement. This is the most important part in this book. The author built this four agreement to guide us how to create our own freedom, our own love and happiness. So let's take a look in some ideas. The first big ideas that author gives us is number 1, the domestication of humans. Do you understand this line? Domestication. That is now from the verb domesticate. Domesticate is the action that we try to transform. Transform an animal to try to transform any animal or human into the direction that we want. For example, we try to domesticate wolf into dogs, or tiger become our pet, or something like that. So, in the beginning of the book, the author introduced about domestication of humans. He said that in our childhood, we are domesticated, just like dog, cat, or wolf, or any other animal. And in our childhood, in the domestication process, we also make agreement. We also make agreements. For example, when we were children, we make agreement with our parents. So just like when we obey our parents' words, they give us a reward, and if we didn't follow their word, they punish us. And giving reward and punishment, that is the mechanism just like domestication. And the influence of parents' opinion becomes stronger when we were in the process of forming the behavior. And in this forming behavior process, we also make agreements, and those agreements, which is decide who we are and who we should be. Time goes by, and when we grow up, the way we live based on based on our agreements. And when we grow up, when we be older, we realize that our agreement that we make in our childhood is no longer suitable, and then we want to break the agreements and want to find our own freedom. And but the agreement is something ingrained in our mind, and we break the agreements by many false ideas. So in the next part of the book, the author gives us 4 healthy agreements to break the domestication. So the first agreement is be impeccable with your words. To understand this agreement, we should find out what is impeccable. The word impeccable is come from the words from Latin. This is a Latin word, and this means sin. You understand sins, and when we put the im before this impeccable, it becomes without sin. So impeccable means without sin, and we will talk about sins. Religion have many definitions about sins. We also have 7 deadly sins in Catholic Bible or something. But in this book we talk about a new definition of sins. So the author says that sin is something, is everything that goes against yourself. Everything you feel, everything you believe, everything you say, goes against yourself. That is sin. And when you go against yourself, when you judge yourself, when you blame on yourself, that is sin. And when you impeccable, that means you make no sin. That means you don't take that means you take responsibility for every action, and you don't judge or you don't blame on yourself. For example, if I see you in the street and talk to you, hey, you are stupid. So you will understand this word. You think that these words are against you, but the fact is those words are against me, myself. because when I insult you, you will hate me for that, and then I use my word to against me. So when you be impeccable, so when you impeccable with your word, that means you don't use your words against yourself. Okay?
But why? Now we understand that we shouldn't use a word that can be against us. We say something that we feel regret in the future. That is the impeccable words. That is the impeccable words. And your advice to say something that we will not feel bad about it later. That the words will not go against us, right? But what is it related to the four agreements? And what is it related to the domestication of human?
But
Why should we do that?
the four agreement is that is for guide to when which we can follow and create freedom in our life, and domestication, because your life is affected by a lot of opinions, and when you grow up, you are affected by a lot of people around. That is the domestication process, and your behavior, your characteristic were forming based on a lot of others' opinion. So and then when you grow up, you realize that agreements you make from the childhood, it's not the real, it's not suitable for your real the real person of you, and when you want to break the old agreements, but you don't know how to break the old agreement. So these four agreements will that is a more healthier way to fight to.
Can you give an example of the agreement that we have to make when we are a child? Or else let's talk more about the being impeccable with your words. Let's forget about the four agreements and the domestication of human, because I think it's still somewhere far away. But if you are reading the advice of being impeccable with words, what do you understand and why you think that it will create our own freedom, love, and happiness? Why you want to give that advice to people?
I think we should go to the end of the book to understand how to create our freedom.
Okay.
Because the four agreement is related to each other.
Okay.
So being impeccable is also when you honor your commitment, or you don't use your word to criticize or blaming on others. And so be impeccable is that you don't use your word against yourself. Don't use your word to criticize others, blaming on others or yourself, and always honor your commitment. And we will move to the next agreement. Don't take anything personally. So I I will begin this part by the same example. Um, if I see you in the street and we don't know each other, and I call you, hey, you are stupid. And if you take it personally, that means you agree with what I said. That means you think that I was talking to you. If you take it personally, and when you think that I was talking to you, and you agree with what I said, that's the moment we can say that the poison word go through you, and you will get trapped in the situation of being confused by with my words. And the reason that you get trapped, that is called personal importance. That the situation when people think that they are the most important person in the world. Personal importance. That is the maximum expression of the selfishness. Because we make the assumption that everything around is about us. For example, when I said, hey, you are stupid, and you think that you are the only one in this street right now, and I am saying that word to you. So you will hate me, you will feel angry, but that is your assumption when you think that I am talking to you. So you have to understand that nothing people do because of you. That's because of them. And everyone have their own dream, their own mind. And I also have my own mind. So when I said something to you, don't take it personally. Don't make an assumption like the example. And when whatever people say to you, whatever people think about you, that is don't take it personally. Yeah, because for example, something said that you are beautiful, you are wonderful. You don't have to agree with that. You don't, and because the important is you know that you are beautiful, you know that you are wonderful. That's enough, and you don't need to believe anything people said to you. This agreement can help you find some peace in your mind and remove the bad words of people from the other people. And the next agreement is don't make assumption. It also related to the previous agreement. We have the tendency to make assumption of everything. When in the previous example, when you hear I said you are stupid, you take it personally, and then you get angry, you blame on me, you react by bad words against me, and that's because you make assumption that I'm talking to you, and then we misunderstand each other, and then we create a big problem for nothing. Um, how to avoid the assumption. In this book, author introduced the best way to avoid making assumption is asking questions. Make sure that the communication, the conversation between people are clear. If you don't understand, you ask until you understand clearly about the conversation. Always have the courage to ask questions as clear until the problem clear enough. And the final agreement is always try your best. This is another agreement, but actually this is it's just like a call to action to the previous agreement. This agreement can allow the other three agreements ingrained in our mind become a habit. This agreement said that we always try our best to follow other three agreements in any circumstances. When you try your best, you will avoid that. You will avoid the situation that you judge yourself, you blaming yourself, or you suffer from guilty or self-punishment. When you try your best, you will not regret that you fail from. Maybe you fail from other three agreements, but when you try your best, you will not regret about that. As long as you have the desire to practice. By doing your best, by doing the final agreements, the habit of impeccable in words, take anything personally or make assumption will become weaker and less in a period of time. In the last word, I want to say follow those agreements and keep maintaining those agreements. I think that is the most difficult thing in your life. But if you can follow those agreements, I believe that is one of the most great things you do in your life, and that can change. That can bring a big change in your life. So thank you for your listening.
Thank you. Very a good talk, and you give us a lot of information, right? Anyone have any feedback or question? Because he's not a professor.
Yeah, I just want to verify the example you said. The example you said that someone say that you are stupid, and I actually I confused that. Is the person saying the sentence you are stupid? They just say it to give notation on that people actually saying to yourself, and you say that you shouldn't think that people saying to that person saying to you. Yeah.
I meet you and